Can't get in till 5:40, you know,
See how we do
before the game
I
starts.
think it's the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got fixed there, so I know that I still call them the nasty. Oh, God. I was here. I miss you. Yes. When you can give me the.
Just a little longer.
A
little longer.
No one here. Scott, why are you here?
That's it?
Why are you here?
Just monitoring the last item on your agenda.
Okay.
No trouble.
Besides, Bill.
No talking.
I had to say this before.
Oh, you got a minute. But.
Yeah, we gotta change this. You're my boss. I'd like to call to order the Munster Town Council regular meeting on September 15th, 25 at 6:30 p.m. Wendy, could you call the roll?
Counselor Hopper.
Here.
Counselor Gardner.
Present.
Counselor Nellens.
Present.
Counselor Peterson.
Here.
Counselor Schinkin.
Here.
All five counselors present.
Before we begin this moment of silence, I would like to bring to mind the passing of Charlie Kirk, who by his life was dedicated to important tenets of the United States. At this time, the council invites everyone to join us in a moment of silence and invite you to include intentions of your own during this pause. If I could have everybody rise up in a moment of silence and followed by the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everybody here. Whose government class do we have? Who's going to be the speaker to tell us what's going on? Are we going to pick anybody? No? Okay, just listen. So with that, we're going to have a public hearing. It's the 2026 budget. So who would like to speak on that?
Well, before you tonight is the first reading on the ordinance for the 2026 budget and tax levies. You'll be asked to conduct a public hearing, have first read on the ordinance, and we're scheduled to have a second read and adoption on October 6th. Included in the budget are the requests that department heads made to cover the day-to-day activities, as well as capital. Includes department head requests as well as their capital, the capital request as well. It assumes a 2% cost of living increase for all regular full-time employees and firefighters. It assumes 50 police officers for the full year. It also includes the recently approved positions. It also has a 3% increase for medical, 7% increase for dental premiums. Those are the actual rate increases that we have received. We know that those are not estimates. It assumes the use of TIF fund for police officers, and it also includes the 16% rate hike that we know is coming from NIPSCO and has already begun. The town manager, clerk treasurer staff met with department heads, reviewed their budgets. We also had a meeting with council where we went through the budgets. This does include, we did begin those talks about SEA 1 and how are we going to address it, those cuts. We did have some cuts already that we made, not hiring certain positions, not filling them when the incumbents left the role themselves. We are working on the various things that were on that list for the savings for SEA 1 and the potential revenue streams, and we do anticipate coming to council in November, end of October, beginning of November, with an amendment to Schedule A, which would adopt new fees and increase some of them based on the more recent costs. So this evening, you're going to be asked to open the public hearing, hear what has to be said.
Do I need a motion to accept that or go in this public hearing?
You need to open the public hearing.
Okay. I will open a public hearing for the 2026 budget only. Does anybody wish to address the council for the 2026 budget?
Good evening. Tom Jurich, 1839 Magnolia. Whether it's your home, business you own, or you work for someone, if you ever had responsibility for a budget, whenever there was time where it's going to be tight and you didn't know what you didn't know, which was what's the money I'm going to have available next year, I always worked for cuts. I'm hoping that a lot of effort has been put into looking at cuts, possible cuts, just simple things on my drive here. I like flowers in town. Do we need flowers and planters? No. Do we need people watering flowers and planters every day? No. There's some simple things. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. I don't want to see positions eliminated. However, positions that are not filled right now, new positions, are they necessary? There's a difference between I'd like to have this or we need to have this. With some of the new positions I see, I think the town's been pretty successful without these people, without these positions. I think we continue to be successful without adding some of these positions. Again, one of the reasons people move to this town, essential services, which is what a municipal government does, takes care of municipal needs, not municipal wants or likes. So I hope when you look at your budget, you look at, and all the department heads go deep into their budget. Was there surpluses from this year? Can you eliminate from there? A lot of things you do in business, and pretty much everyone here has been in business. You got to take those same principles and put it to the town budget. I know you guys are all smart. I know everyone's going to put in good effort. but this could be a real problem for the town, and I hope there's as much effort put into this as there's ever been for any problem in town.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else who wishes to address the town council on the 2026 budget only? Going once, going twice. We're closing public hearing. Now we're gonna start public comment. All public comment is limited to 2 minutes with a total of 20 minutes allotted for public comment section. All speakers must sign in to the public speaker sign-in form prior to speaking. Please keep all comments civil, constructive, and related to public policy issues. At their direction, council may allow public comment to extend past 20 minutes, but not required to do so. All rules for public comment are posted outside the main meeting room, and with that, going to start public comment.
Sign it after, you can sign in.
Yeah, please sign in.
But you can do it afterwards.
Yeah, you can do it after.
Should I talk now or should I wait for the ordinance? Can everybody hear me?
You got, any public comment is done right now.
Okay,
not
perfect.
after or during.
Thank you, President. My name's Randy Palmentier. I'm the business manager for the Northwestern Indiana Building and Construction Trades Council. We cover Lake Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties. We have 30 affiliates, roughly 14 trades that we're in charge of. I just want to rise in support in your consideration on ordinance 1990. Did I get that right, Mr. Wesley?
Yes.
The ordinance number 1990, I rise in support of. Hopefully, you guys agree that this will ensure a local, safe, highly trained workforce on all your town projects. It's been a long time coming, so I want to thank President Schenken and the rest of the council for all their work on this. I also have the pleasure of working with one of my favorite attorneys in Lake County, Mr. Westland, on a few changes that were made. So with that, hope you guys support it. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to address the council? Anybody from Mr. Gordon's class? No?
Did I say something?
Yes, you may. State your, well, first of all, write down your name and address on there, please. Let's make it official. And who are you?
I am Philip Lures.
And where do you live?
I live on Franklin, 1318 Franklin Parkway.
Thank you very much.
I was just wondering, why did you lower the speed limit on Franklin? Like recently, you lowered it from 35 to 25. Why?
That is a question we have to address to our chief of police, and he's not here right
Okay.
I can,
You want to answer that?
yeah, I think, the reason, and it was recommended through the safety board, was, that the speed team generally saw, a need because there's schools, there's a church, right, on Franklin, and so they made the recommendation. I think it was one of those where if our speed limit is 25 and somebody does 25 or 30, as opposed to a speed limit being 35 and even 35 or 40, right? With the school kids and all that other activity on Franklin, that was the reason.
Mhm.
My understanding, the reason for the recommendation.
Yes.
So why not for Columbia and White Oak? Because they also have stores and schools on them.
That's a great question. You're beyond the scope of, I'm reporting the speed team, I think, is looking at it,
Mhm.
but I don't know that they've reached it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all I
Oh,
wanted to say.
thank you very much.
Thank you. I actually signed, so I can actually get up and talk again. I was gonna talk about that a little bit. When this all started with Franklin, with the reduction in speed limit and with the congestion now because of 45th, I got up here and I stated concern about traffic and speed. It's not gotten better, and with school back in session, it's gotten worse. I can tell you within the last 2 weeks, I've been passed while driving on Franklin on the right when I was going 25 miles an hour 2 different times. I've seen police out there. I know resources are limited. I think there's a false sense of security with that 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. especially with people trying to cross that street and goes 25, people are going to be going 25, and you all know that's not the case. I think the speed team or whoever is responsible for this, and young man raised a good question. I said this 2 months ago. White Oak, same thing. What's your criteria? We're gonna have these limits. We need to enforce them and make sure it's not arbitrarily arrived at, because it's too confusing. And I'm surprised someone has not gotten killed either by getting hit or through road rage out there on Franklin Lane.
Thank you again. Okay, come on back up. You want to speak again?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Yes,
just,
ma'am.
like, is there any way to like, do like enforce like school zone limits? Cause like, it's 20 for school limits, I think it's appropriate, right? Cause the safety of the kids. But, so why isn't that more properly enforced instead of like this average speed limit? Like, what's, like, I don't know.
We have officers in the school zones every day.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, sir, and you are?
Brandon Walker and 1408 Ridge Road.
Thank you.
And I guess I had questions about the NIPSCO rate hike that you mentioned, the 16% rate hike.
Mhm.
Is there anything we can do to lower that cost or to offset the total amount we're spending on different like water bills, electrical bills through the municipality through cutting how much water we're spending on different tasks?
For the town as a whole?
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking into it. We're looking in and putting LED lights up, in the lamp posts. So yeah, we have a team that's looking at that to reduce costs because we don't want to incur those costs onto our residents.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. Great question. Anybody else? Go once, going twice. Public comments are closed. Consent agenda.
They're pulling more chairs. There's plenty of them in front.
Yeah, come on, people, join us up front.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Gardner. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
We
motion.
have a second. Wendy, could you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes,
5-0 passes.
this brings up old business. This is ordinance 1990, the responsible bidders ordinance.
This is municipalities are required by law to award capital improvement contracts to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. State law also requires that bidders meet certain minimum requirements to be considered a responsible and responsive bidder, instituting more comprehensive submission requirements for bidding on all town of Munster Public Works construction projects will improve our ability to comply with the Indiana state law. You have an attached ordinance that establishes these bidding requirements. The town attorney had previously made some edits, so the version you have now is the most current version to approve.
Okay, and we spoke about that. So I need a motion to accept.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept by motion and roll call adopt ordinance 1990 on second readings.
We have a motion by Mr. Peterson. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion over this?
Mr. President, Mr. Gardner,
No, go ahead.
I speak in support of this motion, and I will share a personal experience. My father is a builder. He has been building condominiums for many years now, and he has educated me on the value of an ordinance like this. Historically, my dad preferred to hire union contractors, and I have some humorous recollections of times when his preferred contractors weren't available, and he went with non-union contractors, and we would be at Sunday dinner, and Dad would be grousing how he has to go back over to the job site to rebuild headers. Well, what I took away from that is what we have in this ordinance: responsible bidding, but more importantly, responsible workers. This ordinance will require that anyone that bids on Munster jobs demonstrates that the workers that they intend to bring in have a threshold of training that ensures that we're going to get quality construction work. And it helps us as elected officials address the concerns that we get a lowest responsive and responsible bidder, where previously we might have gotten a low bid from someone that on paper appeared responsible, and then we discover otherwise. So I think that this is a good start for us to fulfill our fiduciary duties here in town. I think we should also consider enacting a project labor agreement so that we provide incentives to builders to work with TIF incentives, that they also deliver quality product. So this is a great first start, and I think this is a sign that here in Munster, we support trained workers and that we want to have quality jobs returned when we go out to bid for work.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I guess my question is for Mr. Westland. It seems like there were some revisions made with this ordinance from the previous ordinance. I did not see the contract or the copy that has the red line edition. Are you able just to go briefly over what those were?
The red line is an update to paragraph 1E on page 2 of 7. It adds that second paragraph is the main change.
Okay,
And I just, to kind of echo or further explain, the state statute requires the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, all right? Then you have to take that one. Responsive means, under the law, that they filled out the forms correctly and they submitted a bid to you properly in the format you wanted. That's what a responsive bidder is. A responsible bidder, it's pretty loose when you look at the state, the case law that interprets that requirement. So what this ordinance does is it puts a little bit of teeth into whether a bidder is, quote, responsible or not, because they're gonna have to meet these requirements. My experience in other municipalities has been that it increases the threshold of who you get bidding, because they know they have to meet this. And so you wind up with more responsive, is a bad way to say it, right? A more responsible group of bidders to choose from. So I think it does elevate, in general, the pool of folks that are responsive and responsive.
thank you very much. Thanks for the notification, which was the update. Appreciate it.
Any other discussions, comments? With that, Wendy, please call the roll.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes,
And Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
5-0.
We're gonna go into new business. Brings up ordinance 1991, the 2026 budget, first reading.
So the council held the public hearing earlier this evening, and now you're asked to hear the ordinance on first read and set second read and adoption for the next regular meeting.
Thank you very much. Could I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to hear the proposed ordinance 1991 on first reading and set October 6, 2025 for the second reading and adoption.
We have a motion by Mr. Hopper. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have discussion?
Mr. President, I do wish to weigh in. I think it's important that the town understand that we as a council are facing a challenge. This past year, the state legislature changed our funding formula, and the change does benefit our residents. Everyone that owns a home will see an additional $300 credit on their real estate tax bill. But it's zero sum. The benefit to the residents presents the challenge to the council. And the challenge is we have learned, is that we are now facing anywhere from a $900,000 to $3 million deficit, which is going to play out. We're going to get a better understanding of where this deficit hits as the Department of Local Government Finance massages the numbers and tells us. But what that means is it presents a challenge for us. And we heard earlier a comment from one of our residents that we need to focus on what we need and not what we want. And I agree with that. When you are facing an unexpected shortfall, and families in our community sometimes do, they get in a car accident or they have an unexpected medical bill, you have to tighten your belt and you have to focus on the things that you need, and sometimes you put off for another day the things that you want. Now, we have to continue running the town, and I am going to vote for this ordinance because at the end of the day, we have to keep the town running. But at the same time, in March of this year, I put out a letter to the department heads, asking for serious consideration of cost cutting. And I reiterate that call. We need to engage in serious cost cutting. And it might mean that we're going to have to make unpleasant decisions. So I put that out there so that the town understands that we have a challenge in front of us, and it's the people sitting up here on the dais that have that challenge. But I believe that we are up for that, and I hope when we come back next year for the budget, for the 2027 budget, we are able to present a balanced budget or a near balanced budget so that we can address these shortfalls that we have to deal with today.
Any other comments?
I think certainly, our council is faced with, some hard questions here with Senate Bill 1. And I think I like to thank the staff and the department heads for bringing us a list of cost-cutting measurements that they've suggested and that are being further reviewed in more detail at this time. I do think it's important that while there's cuts available to us or are going to be projected for this upcoming year, years 2 and 3 might even be worse. And so I think we need to take a real strong look, and some of these cuts will have to take time and effort and administration to really look at these things. And like Councilman Peterson said, there might be some things that are not what we want to do, but things that we have to do. And I think it's important that we give our department heads the structure, the support, and also the initiative to really look at these cuts. And again, anytime that department heads want to talk to the council or talk to us and throw ideas back and forth, but this has got to be a collaboration between our group and your group, and we have to work together to do what's best for the residents. And if it's improving efficiencies with our staff, if it's finding out what the true cost of services are that we currently do, I think everything's on the table that we have to really look at, and I applaud the efforts that staff has done up to this point, and I look forward to working with staff even closer in the upcoming months, and quite frankly, in the years to come, because I think this is not a one-year type situation. This is going to be a multi-year situation that we have to look at, and I certainly lend my support, and whatever kind of information you need from me, I'm more than happy to provide it for you.
Thank you. Any other comments, discussion? Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that
5-0.
sorry about that. That brings us to the approval of the IP and the CBET funds.
So one of the measures at the most recent General Assembly was to change how they allocate the financial institution tax and the commercial vehicle excise tax. And council needs to take an action to determine how they want these funds handled. Traditionally, those amounts are prorated among the funds that receive the property taxes. Moving forward, the law says that they will go all into the general fund unless council takes some other action. What's being recommended is that council approve continuing to prorate both those taxes among the property tax funds for this year only, for 2025. This year's budget was based on that proration happening. But then beginning in 2026 and moving forward, to have all of those go into the general fund, we feel that that's a better use for those dollars in light of SCA 1 and what we're facing with that. Now, council can always come back and change how they want it distributed, but this is the recommendation.
Thank you very much. Could I have a motion to approve the FIT and CBET funds?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the allocation of FIT and CVET distribution on a prorated basis among the property tax supported funds for the fiscal year 2025, and to approve the allocation of the FIT and CVET distributions to the general fund thereafter.
We have a motion by Mr. Gardner. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
Do
motion.
we have any discussion? That being said, Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. That brings us up approval of contract for recruitment services.
At a previous meeting, the town council amended the salary ordinance to create the position of assistant town manager. At that time, I stated that it would be wise to hire an executive recruiting firm to do that recruitment. Executive recruiting firms will do a national search. They will vet all the candidates, and we will get a much better pool of candidates by going through a recruitment firm. So I asked three companies to provide pricing for the services they would offer. In your memo, you have a list of all three of them. The one I would recommend is CPS HR Consulting. Their price is $25,000. They have, as you can indicate here, since 2021, several recruitments, and their sample list of recruitments, they have over 32 recruitments that they've done for municipalities throughout the country for either town manager or assistant town manager positions. So I would recommend that we execute a contract with that company.
May we have a motion to approve CPS HR Consulting?
I'll make a motion to approve execution of a consulting services agreement with CPS HR Consulting to provide executive recruitment services in the amount of $25,000 pending final approval of the agreement by the town attorney.
We have a motion by Mr. Hopper. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
We
motion.
have a second. We got discussion over this?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I want to weigh in. We heard earlier in public comment from one of our residents, the need to prioritize needs over wants. And I think this resolution and the next one are a perfect example of what that resident was talking about. This is a want, hiring an outside firm to do recruiting. I was talking with some leaders from the town of Griffith the other day, and I mentioned this resolution coming up. And that particular leader laughed and said, what about ZipRecruiter? What about Indeed? Why don't you try that first before you spend $25,000? And I agree with him. I think we need to change the thought process here in town hall. And we need to try, in light of Senate Bill 1, we need to start looking at ways we can save money. Now, I understand that this resolution is likely going to pass. I'm not going to vote for it. But at the same time, I would encourage town leadership, give these low-cost alternatives a chance before you spend the $25,000. Our $1 million budget deficit is not going to be found in a lottery ticket. It's going to be found by our leadership finding savings all over the landscape. And this is an example that I would like to emphasize where we could make an effort to save some money by using these no-cost, low-cost alternatives before we spend the $25,000.
Any other comments?
I think the important role of the assistant town manager in a position right now where just 4 years ago, we had 4 plus people working in the town manager's office. And now we have 2 people working in there. I think the last year and a half has shown that we need a strong administration staff. And we also need a strong administration staff moving forward to be able to review staff efficiencies, so we can review new ways of doing business, new ways of cutting costs. Right now, the amount of work that is being delayed in the town manager's office, only because we don't have enough staff in that department. And this has been a year and a half that this has been going on. We need to have assistants in that department so we can do some of these, really find out what's the best way to review the true cost of services and also to create some of these staff efficiencies. So again, there has been at times where the town manager's office has been close to 5 to 6 people actually in the years of the early 2010s or so. We need a strong administration, and that's the role of what this council is doing, is to administer the things in the town. And I don't believe that going out to non-industry type search committees is the way to do this. I think this is a specialized role. This is a $80 million budget when it's all said and done. and we just don't get people that are looking at Indeed.com to become part of our administration staff. This is a role that we need to have people that have experience both in the field and also education experience, so we can have a well-run town and that we can look at the efficiencies moving forward and how to make this town even a better place to live, work, and play.
Chuck, you said it, you get what you pay for, and when you're looking at companies like Indeed and all that, where people are just throwing their resumes out there and they're fishing, hoping that somebody's gonna snag them. Where this company is looking for somebody with a master's degree in public and environmental affairs, is looking for somebody who has experience, probably 10+ years, looking to move on to another town to build up their resume. Maybe that'll be our next town manager. We need professional services to hire professional people. Anybody else?
I want to point out that there are 3 positions being recruited in the town manager's office. This one, the economic development director and communications director. Communications director position and the economic development director position, I'm going to be recruiting myself at no cost to the town.
Thank you. Any other questions? That being said, Wendy, please call the roll.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
No.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
4-1.
Next comes up the approved contract with American Structure Point.
At the May 14th agenda review meeting, there was a presentation by American Structure Point to provide a strategic communications plan. This was a process that was initiated before I started. Several companies were looked at. Council had indicated a preference for American Structure Point. So before you tonight is the contract with American Structure Point to perform the strategic plan for communications at a cost of $82,600.
I'd like to have a motion to accept the proposal for American Structure Point.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the proposal from American Structure Point to develop a strategic communication plan in the amount of $82,600.
We have a motion by Mr. Gardner. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second discussion.
Mr. President, I'm going to weigh in, and my concern is similar to the issue with the headhunter. We've got our town manager doing the work in-house for 2 of the 3 positions that are being hired, positions that I think we should put off because of the $1 million+ deficit. That deficit has increased to 1.35 million because we are moving forward with these various proposals, some of which there's $100,000 being spent this evening. This is another example of something where we should try it in-house before we spend money. This particular proposal is for a strategic communication plan that's going to cost us $82,000. Well, this council, the majority of this council, just agreed to hire a communication community relations employee. Why don't we give that person an opportunity to take a stab at preparing a strategic communication plan first? Again, it's like what our residents said. What do you need right now versus what do you want? This is a gold-plated approach to this type of process, but we don't have a lot of gold laying around because of Senate Bill 1. I urge this council to set this over for another time. Look, hire the people that are going to be ultimately responsible for dealing with this, that communications director, and let that person have a stab at this. So I think this is another ill-guided resolution. And again, our $1.35 million deficit is going to be solved by looking at the nickels and dimes, pennies, nickels and dimes. This is an example where we could save some money and start whittling away at that deficit.
Ms. Abbott, does this come out of the general fund?
No,
And this whole effect of the taxes are affecting the general fund. Could you just explain that we're not touching the general fund in this and it's coming out of another fund?
this particular item will be paid. Few things are paid directly from one fund. They're often spread across multiple funds, as this will be. And general fund will not be one of them. General fund is the one that is going to face the largest impact of Senate Bill 1.
And what affects the general fund mainly in expenses?
In expenses, it's primarily wages, it's primarily public safety. That's what makes it a tough nut to crack because it
Mhm.
is one of our core responsibilities to the residents, public safety.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, I'd just like to make a comment that I do believe that communication and engaging our public is a need for this town. It's not a want. I think what I have experienced in the last 6 years of being on the council is that there's many things that happen and our residents always say, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about this. I think we always point to, oh, it was in the news you can use. That is one method of distributing the information for the town. I think we have to do a better job and get into the current ages of what is the best way to communicate with our residents, not just to communicate with them, but to fully engage their participation in town government. If it's understanding what the public works department does, what the fire department does, what's the difference between how our fire department operates and how somebody else's fire department operates. It's how do we communicate our parks and recreation activities? How do we engage people when they have a concern in town, an issue in town? If it's about a zoning issue, how do we engage people to do this? And what part of this communication plan does, it actually does a survey. It has interviews with people in town. This is our first chance and my first chance in 6 years to finally engage our public, engage the residents that we have, and get them to be active participants in town government. And I think this is a very needed step for our town and for the town council. I think this is our first step in getting our residents back involved with the town of Munster.
And most of you over there don't know it, but during our ages, when we were your age, we had Channel 3, which was the Munster cable communications, and they told you everything going on in Munster. We're hoping to bring this communications director in and start having a YouTube channel and getting everything out there. The school town of Munster does a great job. I go on there. You know everything about each elementary school, Wilbur Wright, Munster High School. The Bambackers had their tailgate last week. It was all over. This town needs something like that. So any other?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. I mean, first of all, I'd like to make the comment that we have a very responsible, a very fiscally responsible staff that brings numbers to us that make sense and are not gonna bring us to a cliff of disaster. And I feel like when they're coming to us and we know the needs because we're listening to the residents calling for communication experts and calling for economic development that has to happen around town, very important, you know, for us to create more money to come in for the town to be able to function. And, you know, in particular, this issue with the communications officer, you know, we're gonna engage in this contract or hopefully engage with this contract with a Structure Point, and it's for a year. And it's for them to come in and kind of mentor a person that we're gonna bring on that has experience, so they're not running around trying to do all this stuff. We're paying them to collect and research and have this process and act and form so that we can just go forward with this person that we bring on that's gonna be more than capable to carry the torch from that year contract. It's not anything that's gonna be ongoing that we need to stress out over this money. And, you know, and looking at these other positions, I mean, really quickly, it's like they're not anything that I don't feel, and I don't feel like, as I speak to residents, that we need them. You know, the town manager's office is crucial, and for Mr. Marino to get his job done effectively, he needs to have assistance. He needs to have people to be able to handle the human resources, to handle bids and things for insurance that we need to bring to council, or they need to bring to council so we can cut if we can cut. You know, and if that stuff's not getting done, we're swinging and missing because we're not even looking at everything that needs to be looked at. So, I mean, in this, you know, my point, bringing it back, is that they're not gonna come to us that we all agreed that we need. And as I mentioned in the last town council meeting about that strategic plan that was submitted, they were calling for that. We're in agreement and we're trying to make it happen. And there's not anything that's gonna jeopardize the town because as Ms. Abbott was speaking, is that it's coming out of multiple buckets of funds. It's not coming out of a fund that we're gonna, you know, really be looking at trying to facilitate to work, or to, I should say, to fund to work. And it's not gonna stress us anymore, you know, because we're approving this stuff, or hopefully approving this stuff. So, I mean, I'm trying to say that, you know, it's important, and I think for us to be progressing rather than just, doing a life float, it's important.
Any other comments?
I just want to make a comment that over the last 26 years, we've talked about communication here with the town and the residents, and it's been soft. We don't always get the information out. I feel that we need to have some, in other words, a double shot here. Hire an employee that's capable of running this communications and also having an agency help us get all this together and formulate the path and set this up, because it's been a problem and we've kind of danced around this and danced around it. And I'm certainly going to support this because I want to see this move forward. I want to see the communication with the residents to be there and be strong.
Thank you. Any other comment before we call vote? Wendy, please call vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes,
Counselor Peterson.
No.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
4-1.
That brings us up to resolution 2156, road salt purchase.
Resolution 2156 is for the approval to purchase our road salt for the 25-26 winter season at a price of $222,275. This is the purchase of 2,500 tons of salt.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve resolution 2156 as presented, authorizing the town council president and the director of operations to purchase 2,500 tons of treated salt from the awarded state contractor through the 2025-2026 state joint purchasing program bid on road salt for NDOT Laporte District number 40.
We have a motion by Mr. Gardner. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
We
motion.
have a second. Do we have any discussion over this salt?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
What about the pepper?
That's in the garden. That brings us up to the fountain winter removal routine maintenance and storage installation.
Exactly what it should be just said. So the fountain maintenance for the winter of 25-26, it's to store the fountains and then reinstall them in 26 in the spring. Now there's one for the Parks Department at $850, and then Public Works has 17 fountains at $8,218.
I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion, vote to approve 2 aquatic control proposals dated 9/4/2025 for 2025 fountain winter removal, maintenance and storage, and 2026 spring installation in the amounts of $850 for quotation number 431994, and in the amount of $8,218 for quotation 431995.
We have a motion by Mr. Hopper. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
Do
motion.
we have discussion?
Mr. President, I do want to advise, and I think I brought this up last year. I am the president of the White Oak Woods Condominium Association. I do not believe it's a conflict of interest for me to vote on this, but I defer that to Mr. Westland. If he thinks it's a conflict, I'll recuse myself.
No. Any other discussion?
I just want to make a comment that this company does an outstanding job. We did bid things around and we were less than satisfied with one of the other vendors. And I believe in staying with something that works and that's reliable, and these prices are in the ballpark.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
Right.
Any other discussion over this? That being said, Wendy, please.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
5-0.
That brings us up to the release block 5 surety bond. What's that?
Yeah, this is a request for the town council to authorize the clerk treasurer to release a performance surety bond and accept a 2-year maintenance, performance bond. I'm sorry, the maintenance bond, for the Community Foundation Incorporated Block 5 subdivision. This is the lot that currently has the immediate care center and the new roads and roundabout that are currently installed there. The release of the bond is for $2.9 million. We're asking them to return a 2-year maintenance bond for about $450,000, and that's all in compliance with our subdivision code section 26-293.
I need the motion.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to release the performance surety bond, and maintenance bond acceptance for Community Foundation Incorporated Block 5.
I second.
With a motion by Mr. Gardner, a second by Mr. Hopper. Do we have any discussion over this? That being said.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to the amendment to NIPSCO license agreement.
To complete the Redevelopment Ditches project, NIPSCO is requiring an amendment to the license for jogging, hiking, and biking trail on their property. You have an amendment that defines permission to cross over both ditches, which is on NIPSCO property, and to run south on Martha Street in the second NIPSCO corridor. This is an agreement that was originally approved in 1998. I received an updated version late this afternoon, which I sent to you. And that increases the term of the license originally from 25 years to 33 years. And then after 33 years, it will auto renew on an annual basis.
I need a motion to accept the NIPSCO license agreement.
If I make this recommendation, is the recommendation that's in the packet the correct recommendation? I just want to make sure we get, okay. So I will make a motion to approve the First Amendment to the license for jogging, hiking, and bicycle trails as proposed, which shows the NIPSCO license number NSL 38818-A1.
We have a motion by Mr. Gardner. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
We have
motion.
a second. Do we have any discussion? That being said, Wendy, please call vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. This is the Lechete, how do you say that?
Leachate.
Yeah, Leachate, but I took.
Yeah, the French.
Lechete.
Sounds like you're gonna cook it up.
Oh, I think we look at.
This is for ongoing improvements to the Centennial Park landfill leachate cell riser pump system. Previous improvements were to replace the cell riser panels and transducers and to add flow meters to the main line. The proposal is to replace all of the cell riser pumps to the full system. This will allow the leachate to be pumped from the system as originally designed out of all the collection cells into the storage tanks. It's going to also replace the covers on the two storage tanks, which are brittle and pose a danger to anyone who would come in contact.
I'd like a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve proposal 25-1163, revision 1 from HD Mechanical dated 8/6/25 as part of this agenda item.
We have a motion by Mr. Hopper. Do we have a second?
I'll second that
We
motion.
have a second. Do we have any discussion over this?
The only thing I would like to add just is there's a dollar amount that I think is, should we improve? Can I have the motion be altered to use a dollar amount?
Yes.
Okay, it's $177,710. So I think Joe's got it,
Accept it.
In the amount of $177,710.
$710,000.
We have a, we got the correct motion. Do we have a second?
And I'll second that
Thank
motion
you.
for that amount.
Do we have any discussion?
I think this is one of those issues that this isn't because of the golf courses on top of it. This is ongoing landfill maintenance that we would have if there's a golf course or not a golf course. And I think this is why it's important that if for many years, the town received revenues through trash collection and other things with the landfill, but this is our obligation that we need to do. And so this is an important part. Unfortunately, it is a lot of money, but it's something that's an important part that we continue our obligation to keeping the landfill safe and operating it correctly, because while we're not accepting any garbage any longer, there still is an operation of the landfill that we go on really until perpetuity, really. So.
Any other comment? Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. Last of the new business, partial release. Say that 10 times.
This is a request to release, the recently, reported lot 4 of Lake Business Center, located behind, essentially, a newly created lot behind, the Starbucks there on Met. The request is to remove this lot from the financial covenant agreement that was established in 2011. And the request would be for the Munster MOB, which is medical office building, that's being proposed there for development currently. The agreement, had some changes or some of the following terms, which includes the release shall not have any effect on the bearing of the payment of real estate taxes, including taxes directed to the repayment of the existing TIF bond. Also, the release, shall be subject to completing the requirements of ordinance 1988, and any other development or use ordinance subsequently adopted to the Munster MOB lot 4.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to accept the partial release?
Mr. President, I would make a motion to approve the partial release from financing and covenant agreement as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Gardner. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion over this? With that being said.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings up the reports.
I happen to have a report.
Yeah,
this
I knew
evening.
you would.
I have very good news to share. We recently went to the S&P to get a bond rating for our water bond. We got notified today that we received an A+ bond rating. That is higher than Baker Tilly expected. They said we rated high because this aligned with our utility strategy. The S&P thought the bond issue made sense based on where we are at as a town and the projects we outlined. They felt that our rate setting approach lines up well with what they'd like to see. They also feel that we're a strong location economically. We're all factors in getting this rating. I especially want to thank Tricia and Mary from the Clerk Treasurer's Office who did a lot of legwork on this, as well as Bob and Jim who handled the more of the technical aspects. It was good calls. It was a very positive experience, and I'm really pleased that we have this A+ rating. It means our interest rates will be stronger. Yes, it's a very good thing. So congratulations to everyone that worked so hard on that.
Thank you very much. Any other reports? Chuck, you have anything? Tomorrow, if any of you want to go to the Board of Safety, it's at 7 a.m. We do provide donuts and coffee. It's about a 10-minute meeting. You could go there before school. So any portfolio reports?
I guess I should also mention that the Board of Parks and Recreation will be meeting tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. in this room also. So that is another board meeting that will be open to the public. No donuts.
We bring donuts. Okay. Announcements, all town council meetings will begin at 6:30 unless otherwise noted. The next regular town council meeting will be held on October 6th. Before I adjourn, we have one more meeting that usually lasts 3 minutes, so please, nobody get up. And I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Closing this meeting. Castro, how you doing?
Doing well. Good to go.
I am
Good to see you.
sorry, usually we're done by 7, so don't blame me.
Very important stuff.
It is very important. I want to welcome everybody to the Redevelopment Commission regular meeting held on September 15, 2025 at 7:24 p.m. Wendy, could you please call order?
Commissioner Hopper.
Yeah, or here.
Commissioner Gardner.
Present.
Commissioner Nellens.
Present.
Commissioner Peterson.
Here.
Commissioner Schinkin.
Here.
And our liaison to the Munster School Board, Mr. John Castro.
Here.
Good to see you.
All your people.
Dude, there they are.
Yes, they are.
Excellent.
And we're going to start off with public comment again, but this has to do with redevelopment commission meeting only. So all public comment is limited to 2 minutes with a total of 20 minutes allotted for public comment section. All speakers must sign into the public speaker sign-in form prior to speaking. Please keep all comments civil, constructive, and related to public policy issues. At their discretion, council may allow public comment to extend past 20 minutes, but not required to do so. All rules for public comment are posted outside the main meeting room. With that, I'm opening up public comment. This is redevelopment commission only. So students, if you don't know, Going once, going twice. Closing public comment. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Mr. Nellens. We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a second. Do we have discussion over this one? With that, Wendy, please call the vote.
Commissioner Hopper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gardner.
Yes.
Commissioner Nellens.
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Schinkin.
Yes.
5-0.
We have no old business, no new business, no reports, no announcements. Could I have a,
So moved on the adjournment.
I'll second that motion.
all those in favor say aye. Officially ended. Students, if you need a picture, let's all gather up. I thank y'all for coming. Oh, we got a pyramid.